Well, welcome, listeners, to another inspiring episode of Senior to Seniors. And today I have the distinct honor of welcoming a truly remarkable guest, Simona Mango. And she is joining us from northern Italy today, in Viterbo, Italy. And we were talking before we got started that that's about 6 hours away from where my family is from in southern Italy. And actually, Viterbo, the city or town. How big of a town is it, Simona, that you live in?
It is a province, so
Is
it
it?
is it has
Okay,
its own, university, theater, all of it. It's a beautiful and historical city.
it is.
And
Yeah.
if you see anything, like Netflix kind of things in medieval history,
Yes.
99% they shot it in Viterbo.
I'll be darned. Well, it definitely is a beautiful place. And coincidentally, I actually almost accepted a scholarship from Viterbo College in La Crosse, Wisconsin, in the United States.
How
Um,
funny.
Yeah, I'm from Iowa, and La Crosse is about 2.5 hours from where I lived. And I declined the scholarship and went to a different school. But it's kind of funny how things connect. Uh, where you're in Viterbo, and that's a school that I looked at. But well, let me tell the listeners and the viewers, because we're on YouTube as well, just a little bit about you. And I don't want you to blush too much because it's very complimentary, and it has to be when I did a little bit of research on you. But Simona is not just any life coach. She's a certified holistic life coach, an intuitive life coach, and six-phase meditation trainer from Mindvalley, bringing with her a wealth of knowledge and a passion for empowering women to reclaim their true selves. Hailing from beautiful Italy today, Simona has dedicated her career to helping individuals step away from the shadows of people pleasing and fear. She guides them on a transformative transformative journey, towards their life purpose, self-worth, and holistic well-being. With expertise that spans nutrition, in personal development, Simona embodies a soul led approach to coaching. Her work invites women to break free from societal expectations and embrace a life of joy, clarity, and authenticity. Imagine reconnecting with your inner wisdom, nourishing not just your body, but your soul. This is the essence of Simona's mission. She speaks passionately, and we'll talk a little bit today about the four doors: health, purpose, singing, and nature, believing each door opens pathways to self discovery and empowerment. As an advocate for women's empowerment, Simona is on a mission to inspire women everywhere to reclaim their vitality and find harmony in their lives. Not only is Simona a guide and mentor, but she's also a celebrated classical singer, having trained under renowned voices and performed in prestigious venues. Her unique crossover between music and coaching beautifully illustrates the power of self expression as a pivotal part of personal growth. So I'm hoping everyone will join us as we dive into topics today, like overcoming fear, the importance of spirituality, the benefits of a plant based lifestyle, and what it truly means to live aligned with one's purpose. So, whether you're seeking personal development, tips, guidance, or reconnecting with your higher self, or simply some inspiration to take back your joy, I think you're in the right place today. So, please welcome Simona Mango to my podcast. Simona, thank you so much.
Thank you, Jim. So happy to
I,
be here. This is
I,
wonderful.
I'm so sorry I took so much of your time in talking about you rather than talking to you, but you're such an interesting woman, and you do cross different paths with your musical talents, your background as I believe, a mezzo soprano, and singing and then the work that you're doing as well. And here's one thing that I took from your website. I know that your mission is this: to guide women to reclaim their vitality from the inside out through nourishment that goes deeper than just the body, right into the soul. So I think that's the essence of who you are and what you're trying to do. Could you expand on that a little bit more for those that are listening and watching us?
I'd love to. Um, it's obviously not only for women. I tend to work with women because women tend to resonate with my message a lot. But I'm happy to say that even men do more and more.
Okay.
Um, I'm very happy to see that.
Right.
So yeah, my big passion is to help people remember. I wouldn't even say who they are. I want to say what they are.
Hmm.
A human being is way more than we have been led to believe.
Mm-hmm.
Way more.
Mm-hmm.
And I want human beings to remember, because somewhere deep inside, buried somewhere, we do have that awareness, we do have that knowledge. But then, it's overlooked because life is busy, the mind is very busy, very noisy, chats all the
Sure.
time. The world is full of demands, it's full of distractions, it's full of, all the day to day that really eats you up.
Yeah.
And we don't tend, especially in the West, we don't tend to sit in stillness and find out a way back to ourselves. So we tend to forget, overlook, dismiss, even when we get a glimpse of that we're actually a lot more than we think. But then
Mm-hmm.
we get swallowed in that crazy whirlwind of life,
Of
and
stuff. Yeah. Of
of
stuff that gets in the
stuff, of
way, right?
everything, of people, places, things to do, everything. And so we kind of forget. And we are playing this game of life, um, not at our full potential.
Mm-hmm.
We are often slightly or hugely disempowered. We kind of enter this film set, this game battlefield, sometimes, in flip-flops and a pencil, and we want to play war with that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm using a silly example of war
Sure.
because of struggle, of fight, because that's how we often perceive this life. We have to defend ourselves, we have to conquer things, we have to struggle, we have to, it's hard. It's actually not. It is
Ah,
if we
yeah.
go to war with flip-flops and a pencil for a spear. But we are, first of all, not meant to go to war, and this is the first big lie that they tell us. There's
Sure.
competition, it's dangerous, it's all of that, you have to survive, survival of the fittest, and God knows what, and all of that. And you think like, oh my God, I better arm myself and I better, go to battle. This is very disempowering,
Yeah.
and we take it, we feel disempowered in this kind of battle that we're not meant to fight in the first place. It's a
Yeah.
lie that we're told.
Yeah.
We
Well,
are not, you know,
and maybe we were meant to fight, um, you know, a long time ago when we were hunters, and we had to fight for food, but things have changed so much. We don't have to fight anymore, and we're not brutal savages, and we're not the hunters. That we
no, we don't need to be any of that.
Yeah,
We don't need
exactly.
to be any of that.
One thing that, in doing some research about you, Simona, was a particular book that changed your life. I heard you on a podcast talk about many lives, many masters, and a book that maybe changed your life. I've actually ordered the book. I haven't gotten the book yet, and
You will love
it's
it.
yeah, by Dr. Brian Wise, and he talks about past life therapy and so forth. And so, tell us how that book changed your life and maybe actually vaulted you into doing what you're doing. Am I exaggerating this, or is that?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Yeah, yeah.
That book was pretty amazing for me. It kind of helped me make sense of a lot of things that I, pass me the term, knew since I was a kid. Where do you know
Yeah.
that from? You know, you don't know anything when you're a kid. And
Yeah.
still, I knew things.
Hmm.
And I had this very, very strong feeling that what we perceive, what we see, what we do, you know, our day to day life is like a small portion of what there is. I had this very strong feeling that, yeah, this is real. I mean, you can touch it. It's okay.
Hmm.
It's true, if you will, but it's only like behind this. There's so much more. And where would I have known that from? I don't come from a spiritual family at all. None of that. You know, people
Hmm.
that
Hmm.
were really very intellectual people with no taste and no interest and no opening also for any of that.
Yeah.
And I remember one thing in particular. When I was small, I would have very lonely and heavy and boring afternoons because we were living in a pretty isolated way. My parents didn't want us because I grew up in Naples, which was at the time a rather rough city, you know, 50 years ago or
Right.
something, rather
Yeah.
rough.
Yeah.
And so obviously they wouldn't let us out on the street, so we were like driven to places from time to time, but otherwise we were at home. It was the four of us. I had a smaller sister, so you know, when you're very young, a difference of 2 years, you don't have a lot in common. She's
Hmm.
the baby, and so when I
Hmm.
was say 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, that kind of age, I would have after school done my homework and everything, and I would have these very melancholy afternoons where I would draw. We had no TV because my parents didn't want us to have TV. They said that TV was for other kind of people, not for us.
Sure.
We don't have TV, you know. And I was
Yeah.
like so frustrated because, you know, I couldn't participate in conversations and games and stuff at school because everyone had TV and I didn't. So I had this very isolated, kind of lonely thing as a
Hmm.
kid.
Hmm.
And during these afternoons, sometimes I was just musing for myself, thinking a bit. And I was thinking, if only I could be out of this, out, you know, away from this reality, out of this. And every time I had that thought, I was never suicidal or anything.
Sure.
You know, I wasn't happy, but I was, and I was thinking like, this sucks. It really sucks. So
Yeah.
if I could really be out of this thing,
Yeah.
and
There's
then
got to be more. There's just got to be more, right?
yeah, but not this. I want out of this. And then I
Yeah.
always had this inner knowing. It wasn't a voice. It wasn't like a sounding voice. It wasn't words, but it was
Hmm.
this knowing that said, you know, it's not possible. And if you weren't here, you would be in exactly the same situation somewhere else. And this answer always came like infallibly the moment I would think, if only I could be out of this thing that I didn't even know how to call, out of this life.
Yeah.
And then this knowing came, you know, it's not possible. And you know, and I had the exact feeling in my body, mind, soul system. I can't even tell you where I felt it. Like this really feeling like an experience, like a knowing that if it wasn't that, I could be in a different place. Maybe my room would look different, or maybe, you know, maybe something would be different, but it would be exactly the same feeling for me. And I couldn't make sense of that. I thought like, why am I prisoner in this
Hmm.
script?
Hmm.
You know,
Hmm.
and I didn't have anyone I could talk to about things like that because my family forget it, and other kids, I mean,
Yeah.
not a hope. Yeah, there's not something I could talk to anyone. So what happens when you're very young and you know you can't talk about things? You kind of set them aside. You kind of dismiss them. You think like, well, oh, maybe I'm just a little bit weird. You know,
Hmm.
I'm a weird kid. So what? I'm a weird kid. And decades went past, and when I read this book, gifted to me by a dear friend who's very very special person, and she gave me that book, and that was like 15, 16 years ago. I read that book. I went, aha, that's why. Ah, yep, that's
Wow.
it. And
Yeah.
all these answers and all the things I've been feeling, knowing, thinking, wondering about. I was like, oh yeah, that's why. And that's why as a kid, I would say things and people would say, what do you know about this? I mean, you're 8, how do you know about whatever it was? And
Hmm.
I had this funny thing with adults asking me for advice about things after a while. First, they were like, and then they would ask me for advice about things. And I would always come with some rather mature, say, wise kind of thing. And they were like, what? Why? How do you know? And I didn't
So,
know how I knew, I just knew.
yes, so it wasn't because you read a lot or you researched a lot, right?
No, no, not as a kid. Absolutely
Okay.
not. No,
Yeah.
no,
So
no.
it was just something that was inherently you. It was,
Something that was kind of I had like I call it memories of, or just a knowing that you know we come into this life not remembering anything about our soul, about who we are. We
hmm
don't remember anything at all. And
hmm
with me, a little bit of something must have slipped through. Not a lot, you know. I couldn't remember my past lives or anything like some kids can. You know, there's kids who tell their mummy when they're before 5, they go, "Mummy, do you remember that life? No, do you remember that time?" They don't say life. Do you remember that time when you were my dad and I was called Jack? You know, things like that. And parents will go like, "Oh, this is a funny story you're telling there. Oh, what game is that?" And you say, "No, no, but this is true. You were my dad," or something like that, or
Sure.
we were sisters or whatever, you know. And parents who are not prepared for that dismiss it as, you know, kids' fantasy, and kids
Right.
fantasize a lot. They tell you incredible stories. But before 5, usually, quite a few kids remember things. I was not one of those kids. I did not, I don't think, didn't remember like details from past
Yeah.
lives. I
Uh-huh.
just had some baggage of knowing that
I
must
know.
have come through with
I
me,
know what you're talking about.
but not the details.
Yeah. I had a sister who's passed now, but as all through her life, she would seem to feel things, especially, and knows things, the intuition part of it, because she thought in a past life she had been an Indian scout in the American West. And she wasn't joking about it. It wasn't like she was woo woo, that, she was a little on the edge, right? Um, but she over and over again said, I know exactly what you're talking about because I was there. And so I think this book can maybe, uh, like it opened up doors for you, I think this book could open up doors for others that are listening.
I believe so. I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I hope to do in this podcast with seniors, but is to help them open doors. And part of our conversation that I wanted to talk about is your focus on finding your life purpose. Okay, and you work primarily with women, but just not women alone. But you work with women on finding part of what you do is their life purpose. And I believe that seniors, especially in my world, if you will, Simona, are looking for purpose. They've maybe lived a life where they had a particular purpose with a profession, um, with raising a family.
Yeah.
You get to a certain age, and it seems like they're looking for purpose. And I see it all the time where many seniors, the group that I deal with especially, seem lost in finding their purpose. How do you, how can you help, or what suggestions do you have for those people that seem lost in trying to find purpose at any age, but maybe especially seniors? How can they find their purpose again in life?
This is such a fascinating thing. This is the most beautiful topic in the universe, if you ask me. So, people say I'm looking for my purpose. What is my purpose? Like it's something that someone can give you an answer. You're meant to be, I don't know, you're meant to be something, or you're meant to do this thing, and
Hmm.
oh, okay, if I do that, I'm happy. No,
Hmm.
it's not this way around. It's the other way around. It's not that there is something that if you find it, you become happy because you have found the right thing. There is an aspect of that, but this is very much on the surface. It's the other way around. Why am I saying this? Because your life purpose is the same as everyone else's on this planet. What's different is your soul purpose. So we have, every soul has its journey, its things that it wants to see, explore, experience, learn. Okay, that's your soul's kind of path, your soul's journey. Call it soul
Hmm.
purpose, if you will. And yours is unique to you, and mine is unique to me and everyone else's. But our
Hmm.
life purpose is, I say it's the same for everyone. Our life purpose, when we come into a life here, it is to live this life and in the best possible way, in the most joyous, constructive, elating way we can. It's to come here and bring in whatever way we like. And this is where we differ. You will do it in one way, I'll do it in another way. But your mission here is to bring love to this planet, because that's what our souls are. Our souls are love, pure love. And what we do when we come into this life is we take with us, we choose this experience of being in a heavy body, that can't even go through matter. We move slowly, we're limited, we can't fly, we can't do anything. We're like, okay, we choose this game, which is a very nice game. We choose this
Hmm.
game, but what we're bringing with us, and that we don't talk about, we talk about our big body, we talk about our big mind, but this is tiny, tiny. This is the smallest part of us. The big part of us is the soul. And what we're actually bringing with us is the message of our soul, and the contribution, the love of our soul. And that's what we're bringing into this life, each in their own way. And so our life's purpose for this life here, whoever you are, your mission is to enjoy this life to the most, to squeeze as much learning, as much juice, as much sweetness, as much everything that you can out of it, while bringing your love, your kindness, your compassion, your contribution, your talents, your everything. So
Hmm.
your life purpose is to live your best life. Your soul's purpose, I don't know. You might sense what it is. You
Hmm.
might not.
Hmm.
So when they say I need to find my life purpose, I say no. You want to become happy first. You
Okay.
want to be happy. You want to get into a place of contentment. And when you're in that place where you understand I'm actually made of love. I came here to bring this here. I'm okay with this experience. Okay. Do I feel happy now? Do I feel a bit more content? Do I feel calmer? Do I feel, yes. From that space, you will think, oh, do you know what I'd love to do? I would love to do that. And something will come that is perfect for you. Or I'd love to do this other thing, which is also perfect for you, because you are in a vibration of happiness, of contentment. And then things will pop up in your life, will come to your awareness that are aligned with that. So it's not that you go and try something. Let's see if that makes me happy. No, I don't like it. Let's see if that no, I don't like it. I don't like this either. I'm not. What's my life purpose? Your life purpose is to be happy. Be happy, and so many things you will like and love will come your way, and you can choose to go for that activity, for that profession, for that commitment, for that calling, mission, whatever. And that is your life's purpose.
Well, so Simona, I think, there's a lot of seniors that maybe have lost their love, have lost the love of their life. I mean,
Yes,
literally lost the love of
yes,
their life.
yes,
Maybe they've also had children that have moved on,
yes,
and that purpose, that love seems to have diminished, and they're looking for love. How can they find it? It seems to me that so many are lost. They're
yes,
lost and don't know where to look. And
yeah.
you're saying, look within. Be happy, but where do they go? And maybe the best question, because I have you here, is how would you guide someone that's lost that is looking for those ingredients in their life of happiness to get to happiness? How do you guide them in your coaching, in your life coaching, and how do you start? Where do you start?
Do you know where I start is really with the question I was mentioning before. What are you? What are you? What do you think you are? What is a human being? And the answers to that vary greatly. There's from people who say we're mammals, were mammals with a rather developed brain,
Hmm.
which is part of the truth, of course. Yeah,
Hmm.
we're
Hmm.
in we're in
Hmm.
that kind of body, and we have developed brains. To people who say I'm an eternal soul living a human experience. You can find every and anything in between those. Now, the more you think, you believe, because you have been told, we're told that, we're taught that in school, that we are mammals with fairly developed brains who came out of the
Hmm.
swamps at some time and started to climb up trees and then climb down the trees again and all of that. You are missing. You're talking about what we were saying before. We think the body is what we are. The brains, the mind, which is a product of the brain, is what we are. Yeah, sure, that's part of it, but it's not only that. And so coming out of that understanding, there are lots of modalities, lots of spiritual practices, lots of things you can do. But what I want, the first thing I want, is I want your rational mind to come on board. I want you to accept, to hear first, because this might be absolute news to some people. I want you to hear for the first time, to sit with it for a minute, to play around with it, at some stage to maybe believe it, to accept, and at some stage, for some people it's instant, for some people it's a long journey, to really embrace that you are way more and way more powerful than you've been told. And when you think like, life has been blowing me around like a leaf, and this happened to me and this happened to me, and that's why I am sad, depressed, whatever it is. This is one way of seeing it. There again, you're missing the point completely. It's, of course, it's true. What happened, not denying that, but you are giving it, because that's how we're brought up, we're giving it a meaning and an importance that is way beyond what it really has. Way, way, way much bigger. And what you want to understand is that, seniors tend to know, they usually are in phases where they start finding out what gifts the bad moments of life brought to them. Things that we call bad, we tend to say this is good, this is bad. We use that a lot. Something good happened, something bad happened. Good and bad, also from the soul's perspective, does not make any sense. There is no good and bad. There is, from our point of view from here, wanted and unwanted, desired and hope that it won't happen. But it's not good per se or bad per se. Absolutely not. Nothing is. Nothing is. So things happen because, let me be very blunt, we signed up for a rough ride. We signed up for that. Our souls are eager to like, okay, come on, let's do it again. Let's it's an exciting game. Let's go. It hurts. It's like, yeah. Who cares? Let's go. Souls are crazy like that. They go like, yeah, let's do it. And they know that they're gonna face like all sorts of things that are, when you're here in this life that seems like, a long life. I'm old now. I'm 85. I'm 90. I'm old. Old. This one blink of an eye, in in the eye of eternity, and you're here for eternity. Right. It's a bad minute. You'll survive it. You'll survive it. Even if your body dies, death does not exist. You'll survive it. It's not that serious, Okay. Having said that, life is tough.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And so you're kind of, I'm not putting words in your mouth, but a Sherpa, so to speak, to help guide people in a lot of different ways. One of the things that I've seen is that you offer people that may be lost in the woods, as I kind of use that metaphor, if you will, is your 111-day course, if you will, or training or journey. Maybe that's a better word.
It's a journey. It's a journey
of reawakening to radiance. And
radiance, exactly. You're in a radiance.
Yeah. So talk about radiance.
What you emanate is incredible. And we're taught to dim our light. We don't even see it. We're not even aware of the light we have. Our radiance is, I don't have the words for it. It's endless.
Right.
It's eternal. It's beyond. And in this life, it's even boosted by this physical thing. We also have a body and which has a pretty amazing electromagnetic field around it. We radiate like stars. Now I want everyone to shine their inner light, and even if someone is like really has been battered by life, is old, maybe has suffered all sorts of things, the radiance that's hiding in there is unbelievable. It's beyond.
Aren't we told to dampen all of that when we're young?
Yes.
Radiance, creativity, aren't we kind
Everything.
of taught?
Yeah. The camera's going a bit funny. Yes, we're not only told, we're made to. We are knocked. we are knocked out of our state of knowing that we come into this life with.
Yeah.
And we are silenced. I use strong words, but that's how I feel. We are
Sure.
crippled. We are
Hmm.
crippled.
Hmm.
We come here like these creative geniuses that we are, all of us. And the one they say, oh, poor thing, he's a little bit dumb. That person is, in their way, you don't know what because they've been told that they're stupid and they're a genius at something. Every human being is a genius.
Sure.
Every one of us. And even
Yeah.
if you're the dumbest in school, everyone says that you're hopeless. Who put those labels? Who put those behaviors on you? Who
Yeah.
made you be dumb and all of that? Did you
Yeah.
come into this world with some brain damage? So, okay, you can't be like
Hmm.
a
Can't be an
neuroscientist.
architect, for
And
example. But
okay,
yeah, yeah.
you have other
But
things.
oh,
You
sure.
will come with a load of other things that are
And
valuable for humanity and meant to be brought to humanity, but they don't let you.
yeah, and I've seen that in my own life. Early on, I'm a musician, not of your caliber, of course, Simona, but a musician, and
A musician
and
is a musician.
yeah, and gave drum lessons to young kids. And there were a couple of young kids who were given to me in part by their parents because they were slow. They couldn't do something else, anything else. But maybe give them to Jim, and maybe there's something there, and at least it will keep him busy, keep him out of trouble. And there's one particular young man that I worked with that was in that, it was thought of in that way. But he was the most successful of all the drum students I had. To this day, he is, 50 years later, he's making a living playing drums and music. He found it through music, whether it's through music. However, there's always, as you put it, some radiance,
I
something
love
there.
that. I really love that. And I'm not, this is a fantastic story. And I'm not only talking about, say, a talent, like someone has talent for music or for, anything. I am talking about just the love from your soul that you're bringing here.
Hmm.
One thing that's totally overlooked, people think that in order to contribute, to bring something, to be of value, you have to be, I don't know, a nurse, a teacher, a mother, a parent, someone a volunteer, someone who does something tangible for. This is one way of doing it, one of many ways, and it's very physical, it's very much in the physical world. But the physical world is not physical at all. The physical world, matter is made out of energy. Everything we see that we think is physical is condensed energy. But our love is energy. Our thoughts are energy.
Hmm.
Our emotions are energy. Everything we do is energy. The electromagnetic field from our body that I was telling you, the aura, call it, is energy. Light is energy, sound is energy, heat is energy, movement, everything is energy, including really the subtle things like our highest emotions, like love, like all of these things. These are energy. So when a person comes to this world and brings their good nature, they bring their love for anything, maybe for animals, for plants, for other people, for anything, for just anything. Or maybe they just bring compassion, they bring kindness, they bring any form of positive presence. What this does, it's adding their vibration, energy is always measured in frequencies, in vibration,
Mm-hmm.
they add their own vibration to the sum total of humanity's vibration. And a smidge of loving, positive energy added to that can tip the balance.
Mm.
So people think in order to, be of as a service to humanity, I have to be a philosopher, an artist, a something, a scientist. No, in order to be of use to humanity, you have to be a person in good vibes, which means you're happy, you're loving. How come that being happy and all of that is also the way you find your purpose?
Mm-hmm.
You come full circle. It's
So, so what's preventing people? I know that you talk about fear and the fear
yes,
people have in their lives.
yes,
So, how do people, maybe what's stopping them is fear. How
yes.
do people, how do they get outside of fear? How does that happen?
This is the most important question. How do you get out of fear? Well, what is fear? Fear is the opposite of love. When you're in fear, you are away from love, which means you are away from your soul. Souls are made of love. When you're in love, you're in your purpose, you're in everything. When you're in fear, it means that you are detached from the love of your soul. And whose playground is fear? The mind's.
Mm.
Fear is the mind's, playground or havoc ground. The mind is fearful. And why is that? It's because the mind is finite. It knows exactly that it will die the moment the body dies, because the mind is nothing but the emanation of the brain. The brain is part of our living material body.
Mm-hmm.
When the body dies, the mind dies. And the mind is terribly scared of dying. And the mind is very, very scared. And the soul isn't. The soul knows that death does not exist, that it will never die. It's eternal. It's always been here, will always be. It will choose as many games and as many whatever joy rides it wants.
Mm-hmm.
And it is not scared of anything. But the mind is scared of everything. The mind was, it was meant to, it's very useful also. It keeps us alive because we're scared of tigers if we don't get eaten. We're scared of lightning, we don't get burnt. So
Mm-hmm.
it's meant to keep us alive, and it does a great job of that. But then
But
when
it
there's no,
also, but it, but it also stops us, not
that's the
only
thing.
from the
That's
things
the
that are
thing.
bad, but the
Exactly.
things
That's the
that are
thing.
good.
That's the
The
thing.
things,
It's scared of everything, and when there's no tigers, it's always scanning everything for danger.
it
And
finds
then
something else.
something else, like your latest idea. Oh no, that's dangerous. Your
Mm-hmm.
dream, your passion, your calling. Oh no, don't do that. You'll make a fool of yourself. You get into trouble. You'll get ridiculed. You'll hurt yourself. You'll disappoint people. It'll come up with all sorts of things to, in its good intentions, keep you from, safe from harm. But the problem is that it hasn't got a clue about what's good and for you, what's in your highest good and what's not.
Yeah.
And it wants to prevent you from doing anything because everything is scary.
Yeah.
So,
Well, you were able to defeat that mindset is what I know about you as to, um, with your musical career, to taking to a stage like I have behind me, a stage behind me. You had to endure that fear that, in your life, to just get on the stage, to just do what you wanted to do.
yeah, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and being so this rather isolated and shy kid,
Hmm.
shy, and insecure, and I was always, I never felt like you know, at the right place, at the right time, the right person. I never had the right anything, the right looks, the right clothes, the right knowing, the right nothing. I just felt incredibly awkward and very, very shy and always doubting myself terribly and all of that. And I thought that maybe I had this passion for singing, but obviously I would never have sung in front of anyone or anything. So I was too shy. So at some stage when I thought like maybe this could help me, you know, come out of that. If I could become really good at it, then maybe I would have the courage to show myself, to come out. And this is what I did. I learned to sing, and classical singing is rather demanding. It's a long path. It's a very complex art and discipline and everything. I learned to do that, and when I was sure that I started to sound like the business, like no one can, you know, you can say that you don't like my voice, whatever, but you can't say that I don't know what I'm doing. When I started to perform, to come out. Oh my God, was that a step? For someone so shy, the first time I sang in public, I thought I was going to have a heart attack.
Sure.
I really did. But then, you know, that helped me come out of that, overcome a lot. And then I thought like, oh, it's doable. You can overcome things. And then I translated that to whatever I want. And I want, you know, I'm just bringing my experience to people, to others, to do what you're scared of. Let's do it. We'll just do it. And you can do it. Obviously, you have to prepare. You're not going to be foolish about it, but you can do it.
Yeah. There's God-given talent and so forth, but you have to go after it. And of course, opera singer, what you're doing is probably the most difficult path in music. Um, it's I can't imagine it because it's so rigid, so hard, to do. So how did spirituality fit into all of this in your life? How did how did that play a part?
You
You know,
know, it was all.
we talked about purpose, we talked about fear, but for a minute, let's talk about spirituality. Where does that fit in your life?
For example, what I was telling you about my thoughts and my feelings as a kid, like when I was wishing I could be out of this, and then I had this knowing and all of that. That is obviously a form of spirituality, a
Okay.
form of, you know, seeing beyond matter. That's what actually spirituality is about. When you see beyond, see or feel or whatever, you go beyond what your five senses can take.
Hmm.
So that's already spirituality. Say it doesn't have to be, you know, religion. Not at all. For me, these two words don't necessarily go together. They do for some people, but they don't necessarily go together. You can be religious and not be spiritual, and you can be very spiritual and not be religious. They
See that
can
all the
really,
time. Yeah.
yes, you see both examples all the time. So they don't need to be mistaken for, you know, for one another, because they can overlap, but they don't need to.
Hmm.
So having this sense that there's more than what I can hear, see, feel, you know, touch, all of that. That for me was the first. That for me is my first encounter, say, with spirituality.
Makes sense.
And yeah, that I would think it's that. And then when I started in my late teens, I started to read about yoga. I was never I never practiced properly and everything. I never had a teacher, but I read about it a lot. I practiced a little bit for myself, and I started reading about all sorts of what's called alternative medicine. But I
Okay.
say that's the real medicine. Alternative is what we're doing now. That's the alternative. The real medicine is what we were doing before. And all of that, and things that are not meant to work, but they do work, you know. And when I started to understand how things that are not necessarily physical also impact our physicality so much. And when I started to really look into energy, as in, you know, laws of the universe, quantum physics, that kind of stuff, that is all, you can call it spirituality. For me, spirituality is science. It's the same. Spirituality is, if you will, science that hasn't been coded yet, that hasn't been maybe written down in precise mathematical formulas or whatever. We call that spirituality. But seeing what the eyes can't see. I mean, we can't see ultraviolet or infrared, but we can measure them all the same. But we can't see them. So is that spirituality? Whatever, yeah, call it whatever you will. But, you know, they do work. We use them all the time. And there are so many other vibrations that we can't see or hear, but they are at play and very powerful, way more powerful than the light from this lamp that you can see. So you would accept this because your eyes can see it, and then you would dismiss something that's billions of times or trillions of times more powerful. You would doubt its existence because your eyeballs can't grasp it. So where does spirituality, you know, where does it overlap with science? For me, it's the same. For me, it's the universe is made of energy, and energy and nothing else. And energy takes so many forms that there's just forms that we know better and forms that we know less. But it's all science.
Yeah.
It's all
So
science.
there's so much I want to ask you, and we don't have the time. I don't have the time to ask you everything, but talk about, if you will, because you're a holistic coach, right? And so for those people that are listening and, you know, have enjoyed what they've heard or getting meaning and value from what they've heard, uh, talk about holistic coaching and what you do, and maybe even how people can get with you, can talk to you, can be part of what you do. Can you talk about holistic coaching a little
Oh
bit?
yes, yes. I would love. I hope people. You know, I hope this resonates. The things that we're talking about, that people kind of, if they're new to this, that at least it feels like, oh, this could be, you know, and that it lights a spark of let me look into this. Maybe there's some truth in that. But there is one big takeaway that I really hope people can have from this conversation.
Okay.
Please let me know if I can get it across, because this is very, very important for me. So what holistic coaching is about, it's understanding that, you know, everything that you are, you can divide it into a lot of aspects. You can say my hands, my head, my digestive system. Then you can say my anger. Then you can say my memories. Then you can say my relationships. Then you can say my next life or whatever. So you have the physical, the mental, and the emotional realm. The emotional one is the one that's more directly connected to your soul. All of these three things form you, as in who you are, and there's no way you can separate them and be healthy and happy. You can do it, but it's not good advice. So holistic coaching means we are looking at all of you, at all your aspects. So the physical one, the mental one, and the emotional / spiritual one.
Okay.
So what does that look like? For example, people come to me with a health issue, for example, and it could be anything from say something very common. Overweight, low energy, bad sleep, and maybe mood swings.
Okay.
So what does a holistic coach do with that? So a traditional doctor will give you some drugs to help you, and a calorie
Always.
restricted diet and some whatevers and good luck.
Yeah.
Because they say, okay, this you take for the mood swings, this you take for the body, and see you in 9 weeks.
Uh-huh.
No. So what I want to know is, okay, I want to know what you eat, for example. We're going to talk about food. We're going to talk about not nourishment, which is not only food, but also water, air, all of that. But I want to know what you consume also when it comes to input. What are you consuming when it comes to news? To news, to
Mm-hmm.
social
Mm-hmm.
media,
Mm-hmm.
to
Poison. Poison, right?
poison.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be that your diet is not bad. I mean, you can always improve it, whatever. But maybe all your sense of malaise and stuff doesn't even come from something physical. Maybe it doesn't even come from what you ingest, like what you swallow. Maybe it comes from what you are absorbing on a mental level.
Mm-hmm.
What happens
Mm-hmm.
with a mental level? You get those inputs, thoughts start to form around it, and
Depression.
what happens with the thoughts?
Mm-hmm.
Your brain is strongly connected to your body. Your thoughts trigger emotions, which
Mm-hmm.
trigger big reactions in the body,
Mm-hmm.
without even talking about the say outer layers of the soul. But right here in this day-to-day reality, what poisons are you taking in? Is it only stuff from the grocery store, or are you poisoning yourself with all sorts of things?
Sure.
So when you start putting some order into what you let into your energy field, because food that you eat actually and stuff that comes, it all affects your energy field.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter how it comes in, what form it is. If it has an energy, and everything has an energy which is not compatible and not conducive to good health, it will disrupt your system, no matter if it comes through food or through information, through pressure, through stress, through a relationship. It doesn't matter. You
Yeah.
have poison on all these levels, and
Mm-hmm.
you have vitamins and sunlight on all these levels, because if you're pursuing interests that light you up, you bet that the energy that's coming into you is gonna lift yours, it's gonna raise yours.
Yeah. So you're basically a doctor, not practicing medicine, but you're providing people and looking at their life as a whole, holistic.
Yes,
You're looking at the entire picture.
at the entire picture, the entire person. I'm not a doctor, as in a
Of
medical
course,
doctor.
of course.
I have a background in nutrition. I have so I'm also very passionate about that for many reasons.
Yeah.
Each one of these aspects deserves to be treated fully, 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 and in depth.
Mm-hmm.
So for 1 minute, let's not talk about anything else. Let's only talk about what you eat.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you want to dedicate your full attention, awareness to that. It's
Yeah,
of the
and
utmost
I don't know
importance.
about Europe, I don't know about Italy, but when was the last time a doctor has asked you and to talk about nutrition? And it's something
They
beyond.
don't get trained on that.
No,
It's
they don't.
it's incredible, but in the West, they do not get trained on nutrition. You hear doctors say things that give me like shivers, and I think this is a medical doctor saying that.
Uh-huh.
This is
Yeah.
how they get trained. They don't learn about it. They have like 2 hours of nutrition,
Yeah.
and do you know? There's a lot of lies out there. There's a lot
Sure.
of big fat lies out there, because
Mm-hmm.
the food industry and the pharmaceutical industry, which are two aspects of the same big giant,
Yes.
they only look out for money.
They have
So
a job to do.
they,
They have a job to do. That's to
yeah,
make money,
and
right?
it's to make money. So what they do is they sell you food that makes you sick, and then they sell you the drug that supposedly make you healthy again.
Better. Hmm.
Forget it. So it's a vicious circle of eating what makes you sick and getting drugs that make you sicker, and then you eat stuff that makes you sicker and get more drugs. They want to keep you just alive, because when you're dead, you don't bring any pennies anymore.
That's
So
right.
they want to keep us sick and alive for as long as possible, and sell us as many drugs as possible. What science knows now about nutrition and about illness is, it's stuff that the East has always known, and now
Hmm.
Western science, and there's some American scientists that are, I adore them for what they're doing. They are showing what the truth is. There's some in Europe as well that there's some people like, human beings who are really really doing some amazing stuff for all
Sure,
of us.
sure. So,
And yeah,
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but
go
um,
for it.
one thing that I always ask my guest is that I'm well aware that I may have missed something, that there's a question. If there's something that's so important to you that you want to make sure that those listening and watching hear and understand, what is the one thing I should have asked you, but I didn't? I failed to.
I
What's one
think
thing?
no, 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 no. You asked some amazing questions. I'm not really sure I answered them, because we were taken by
Well,
the
we
conversation in all directions. Did
yeah.
I answer your question? Did I? Because I'm not aware. Did I answer your question about, you know what people need to know? What people You were talking about I don't think we went there. Purpose for seniors, that maybe their life has changed because the kids have moved out, and maybe they've lost the love of their life and all of that. And I went
Yes.
on the big soul stuff. But what do you do now?
Yes.
So what you do now, it might sound a bit counterintuitive, or a bit maybe hard to achieve, or I know, I'm aware of it, but bear with me, it's the way. You have to take even a small step, even small, towards a bit more happiness, a bit more joy, a slightly more positive thought, a slightly more positive emotion, and anything that you like a bit better than the one that's plaguing you at the moment. And even a small step at a time, you can raise your happiness to anywhere you want. And also, the more you do these small steps, the more you get good at it, and the steps become big strides. At the beginning, it might feel like just look for the next slightly better feeling thought. That's already an improvement. Why? Because it's already raising your vibration.
Hmm.
It's raising your overall emanation of energy. So what that means is not only that you feel better straight away because you reached for a slightly better feeling thought, which makes you feel better in your body also. Maybe it gives you a little bit of relief, a bit of, that's a serious practical step. But the thing is that having raised your vibration even that little bit means that out there in the world and in life, you will start resonating with things, with better feeling things, or better feeling things will start coming into your awareness because you are resonating. It's the law of resonance.
Hmm.
The more, so when people are in victim mode, if you are like, oh, all the bad stuff happens to me, this happened and this happened, and then this tragedy, and then this whatever, all bad, like
Bad.
unwanted things, and you're in this victim mode, and you're telling the universe, oh dear me, everything happens to me, and this and this and this, the universe is very impartial. It doesn't, the universe, it doesn't do good or bad. You are
Hmm.
telling the universe sad stuff, sad stuff, sad stuff, and the universe says, okay, more sad stuff,
Yeah.
sad stuff, sad stuff. If you can say a bit happier stuff, a bit happier stuff, a bit happier stuff, the universe says, okay, here you go, a bit happier stuff, a bit happier stuff, a bit happier stuff.
Hmm.
And the more you manage to be in a vibration, in an overall feeling, but it's a vibration, it's a frequency, it's measurable. It's a real frequency of that you feel a bit happier, a bit more uplifted, a bit more joyful, a bit more positive, a bit more optimistic. The universe will have to, it can't be different because this is physics, will have to show you things that are more in tune with this new feeling. So you basically, why it sounds hard to do, you say, yeah, I'm feeling really bad now, and I want things, I want to feel wonderful, and the gap is big. So it's usually very difficult to say, okay, now I'm feeling like I already have it. That would be the ideal thing. If you could
Hmm.
stop your feelings, stop your thoughts, and put
Hmm.
yourself right this second in the feeling like I already have what I want.
Hmm.
I have a love again. I have joy. I have health. I have money. I have whatever I want. I have this house on the beach, whatever it is you want. If you could put yourself in the feeling like I have it, it's true, and I do have it, then the universe would have to show it to you. It would show up in your life. But we can't usually do that. Some people can. If you can do that, you're good. Usually the thoughts come back going like, oh, but I don't have that. And then like, who you gone trying to fool? What we talking about? You crazy, or what, you stupid? What, what, who told you this nonsense and that kind of stuff? That's what the mind does, because the mind is very uncomfortable with this kind of things. But so that's why I say every little step towards feeling better will have things that feel better resonate with you. So small leap at a time, always small improvements in what you have. Whenever the leaps get bigger, the improvements get bigger. When you do a quantum leap, life will have to show you a different reality.
And it's very, am I correct? It's very much like it's the law of attraction,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, I don't like call it the law of attraction. You know why? Because people get misled by that. They think what they say is, okay, say I want money, okay?
Uh-huh. Hmm.
I want a car. Imagine this thing that you can imagine, because money can be a bit elusive, how much or whatever. Say that car. I want that car.
Yeah.
So you know exactly the model, you know the car you want. And then you want to attract it, so you think about that car. Oh, I
Hmm.
want that car, I want that car. But when you say I want is another word for lack, right? We say
Hmm.
for want of something, it means for lack of something. So I want that means I lack it, I don't have it. I wish
Hmm.
I had it, but I don't have it. So what you're telling the universe is want, lack of that car, lack of that car. And the universe goes, here you go, lack of that car, lack of that car. So that's why law of attraction, I'm attracting it. No, you're not attracting it. It's a law of resonance. That car will come into your resonance when you are at that vibration, when you are the person who has that car. That's why I say it's counterintuitive. It's difficult. When you feel, when you know that you are the person who has that car will show up in your life. But you have to make yourself feel it, know it, believe it. It's got to be a feeling in your body, and this is difficult. This
Yeah.
it's hard. I mean, it's a simple concept, but it's very hard.
Well, so what I would say, and we talked about a lot of things and touched on things, Simona, maybe the first thing to do is to take, as you suggest, a step-by-step approach.
Yes.
And, and maybe as simple as it might be, one of the steps that people can take um, is to learn more about you and to take advantage of those things that you have available that you offer people, with your website and, through the things that you do. That I think that's one step where people can make that step. Of course, another step might be um, to have positive thoughts by listening to your music, listening to you sing, and I mean that's so positive. And talk about emotion, and the emotion that you put into your music and you distribute by doing it might be the perfect place to start. So, boy, we talked about so much, and I wish we had more time. But I will put your contact information on the show notes to this so people can find you. Your website is your name, Simona-lifepurposementor.com. That's Simona-lifepurposementor.com. That's where they can begin. And they can also go to YouTube today as soon as we're done. And you go to YouTube and put Simona Mango's name, and you're going to be able to hear her beautiful voice and her beautiful music. And I think that's a positive place to start. One of the first steps maybe you can take today. Simona, thank you so much for being with me today. It's been a joy. I've learned so much.
For me too. Thank you, Jim. That was
Okay.
beautiful. Thank you.
Have a great day. Thank you to my audience, and we'll see you the next time on Senior to Seniors.